everybody, Dan Bailey here with another super awesome Fujifilm video for you. Today we're going to talk about the X-T5. Man, it feels so good to say that, doesn't it? Before we start, I just want to take a minute to thank everybody for your support here on my YouTube channel in the past 3 years. It's been quite a fun experience doing this channel and making all these videos, and it's really exciting to me to know that you guys actually want to hear what I have to say. So I really appreciate your support. And really, if it wasn't for you, I'd just be talking to an empty room. Hey, wait a minute. That's literally what I'm doing right now. Anyway, also I'd like to mention my brand new photography lesson site. I just launched a new course page where you can find all of my online courses, including my signature course on creativity and composition, photography on the brain. I've also got a free course up there you can do. And I'm also starting to do individual personalized coaching with video calls. So if there's a specific technique or a camera setting, or maybe it's a creative idea or approach that you're struggling with, or you just want to get a little bit more direction, maybe you want a critique of some of your images. With this option, I can give you some one-on-one personalized instruction and help you move in a new direction with your photography. Overall, I'm really excited about my new lesson site. The new interface looks great, and the dashboard and the user lessons and stuff are really easy to navigate. It's just a much better framework, so I hope you'll check it out. You can find that right here at this link. Of course, this is just the beginning, because I'll be adding new courses as we go forward. Okay, let's get going with the real meat of this video. 8 years ago, Fujifilm launched a groundbreaking camera, the X-T1. It was the world's first mirrorless, weather-sealed, action-ready outdoor photographer's camera. And of course, it came with this really awesome, small, stylish body that so many of us have come to love. And then Fujifilm followed up every couple years with the next generation of the X-T series, the X-T2, which opened the doors immensely with a brand new menu system, a way more powerful processor, and a bunch of new settings. And then the X-T3, of course the X-T4 a couple years ago. And now today, Fujifilm has officially launched the X-T5, the latest generation of the awesome X-T series. It's actually been a really big fall for Fujifilm this year. A couple months ago, they launched the X-H2 and the X-H2S, which of course were the first models of the new 5th generation X series cameras. And both of these XH models were designed around a pair of new X-Trans sensors. The X-H2S has the stacked 26 megapixel X-Trans HS sensor, which gives it incredibly fast performance with up to 40 frames of blackout free shooting and ultra high video performance specs with 4K video at 60p and ultra high speed video at 4K as well, which produces incredible quality slow motion video effects. The X-H2 is built around the new 40 megapixel X-Trans HR sensor, which is geared towards still photography that produces incredibly high image quality. The X-H2 has incredible video specs as well. It can shoot 8K video, and it can shoot oversampled 8K using the whole sensor that creates even higher quality 4K 10-bit video output. The awesome thing is that the X-T5 has the same sensor as the X-H2. In fact, the X-T5 has a nearly identical feature set and specification list all the way down the line as the X-H2. It has the same 7-stop in-body stabilization system, shoots at 15 frames a second with a mechanical shutter. It has the new multi-shot pixel shift feature, which allows the sensor to capture a series of frames, shifting a half pixel between each capture, and then you can distill those down in the software to give you an ultra high resolution 160 megabyte raw file with an incredible level of sharpness, clarity, and color accuracy. It also has the brand new subject detect autofocus system, which uses AI to allow the camera to track specific subjects with incredible accuracy and speed. I've actually tried this feature out briefly on an X-H2, and it's incredible how fast it is. It has the brand new nostalgic neg film sim that was introduced with the X-H series early this year. And it has a maximum electronic shutter speed of 180,000th of a second. So again, X-T5 and X-H2 share the exact same sensor, feature set, and nearly identical level of performance in almost every way. In fact, with these specifications, the X-T5 is expected to match the performance in terms of sharpness and resolution of the Canon R5, the Sony a7R4, and the new Nikon Z7 II. And those are all full-frame cameras. The X-T5 also has very high video specs. Internally, you can shoot and record 6.2K video at 30p in 10-bit color quality. In addition, the camera will oversample the 6K video to give you superior 4K output in terms of quality and video performance. With the X-T5, you can also shoot in F-Log or Fuji's new F-Log 2, which gives you over 13 stops of dynamic range. And you can record 12-bit Apple ProRes RAW video or Blackmagic RAW video format, which can be output to a compatible HDMI recording device. In terms of body design, the X-T5 is classic XT through and through, with the same SLR-style layout that we've all become accustomed to. Design is virtually unchanged from the X-T3. In fact, it goes back and uses that same XT-style articulating screen that the 1, 2, and 3 had. And I know that's going to make a lot of people really happy. Now, the X-T4 was an awesome camera, but it was a little bit of a departure from the line. It's a little bit of an anomaly, because between the X-T3 and the X-T4, video had become a much larger part of our lives and our technology. So the X-T4 was kind of positioned to be the top of the line still and video camera in the X-Series line. And so to make it a little bit more video friendly, they used a flip out screen, which does work great for video. I mean, I'm shooting with it right now. I just flip the screen around so I can see myself. Hi, Dan. But of course, still photographers, myself included, found it to be a little frustrating. It just didn't operate the same way. And so in that sense, the X-T5 goes back and becomes the true successor to the X-T3. In fact, the body style is closer to the X-T1 size, which is quite small, and it's 50 grams lighter than the X-T4. Now, there's one major change that they did implement on the X-T5, which I know is going to make some people grumble a little bit. There's going to be no grip available for the X-T5. Now, I know that some people are going to be a little bit upset by this, but personally, I don't see this as a big deal, and it's certainly not a deal breaker. And I'll tell you why. For one thing, Fujifilm has increased the battery performance on the X-T5 so that you can shoot almost 700 shots per charge on a single battery. That's twice what the X-T1 shot, and it's getting close to how many shots you could get on the X-T2 with the grip. And same with video performance. You can get up to an hour of shooting with one battery, and that's pretty good. That's way better than it used to be. And of course, since the X-T3, we didn't need the grip for boost mode anyway, so you don't get any better performance with the grip. Of course, some people will say that the grip helps balance the camera when you're using really big lenses, like the 100-400 or the 150-600. I've been using the X-T series for years. I shoot the 100-400 without the grip all the time, and I don't see it as a big deal. In fact, I see it as kind of a hindrance, because what if I'm shooting telephoto and I suddenly want to switch to wide angle? Do I take the grip off? Well, that's kind of time consuming. And now I have this big, huge body with a little tiny lens on it. And that's not the form factor I want. And a camera with a grip is not going to fit as easily into my small camera packs. So yeah, the grip can be handy, and I often use it for shooting video, but I gotta say, I'm not gonna really miss having a grip. I didn't have a grip for the X-T1, and so for me not having a grip is really not gonna be that big a deal for me on the X-T5. So essentially, the X-T5 is actually smaller and lighter than the X-T4, and has better battery life, much higher resolution sensor, which means higher image quality, but also all those extra pixels means more phase detect pixels, and combined with the new subject detect autofocus system, the X-T5 has way faster autofocus than the X-T4. So how is it different from the X-H2 and the X-H2S? The main area where the new X-H cameras excel over the X-T5 is with video specs. Both the new X-H cameras will shoot at bit rates at up to 720 megabits per second. That's fast. That's almost double what the X-T4 could do at 400 megabits a second. The X-T5 tops out at 360 megabits per second. It's a little bit less than the X-T4, but that difference is going to be virtually imperceptible to the eye, not even a factor. And the reason those X-H cameras are so fast is because they use the new Type B CF Express cards. And the X-T5 has the regular dual SD card slot as found on the X-T3 and 4. And this is also because the X-H2 and the X-H2S both have 64-bit processing, where the X-T5 has 32-bit processing. And so this is why you can't shoot and capture Apple ProRes internally to the memory cards on the X-T5. But as I said, you can shoot and export 12-bit Apple ProRes RAW video or Blackmagic RAW video format to an external recording device via HDMI. In addition, the two X-H cameras have the regular full-size Type A HDMI port, where the X-T5 has the micro HDMI port. So what does this mean in real-life situations? I mean, the X-T5 still has incredible video specs. You know, it's performance-level stuff. And keep this in mind. When the X-T3 first came out, it was featured as a full Hollywood-style capable recording camera. And there were people who were shooting cinematic-style movies with the X-T3. So this is 2 generations later. You're going to be able to capture incredible quality video that's suitable for just about any kind of professional application. It just doesn't have the incredible high speed capture qualities of the X-H2S or the incredible high resolution 8K video specs of the X-H2. But that kind of bitrate and that kind of resolution demand a lot of memory. I mean, in real life situations, 8K video files take up 3 times the amount of space as 4K video files. So that means bigger and more hard drives, faster computing power and processing. For most of the stuff I'm shooting, I mean, especially for the YouTube channel, I don't even shoot 4K. I'm shooting HD because the quality is still really good, and I just don't feel like dealing with huge files. So yeah, if you're shooting an ultra high quality or ultra fast action video that demands the highest performance and the highest bitrate speeds, then yeah, you're going to want to use one of the XH models. But for everything that almost everyone is ever going to need with video, the X-T5 is perfectly adequate. At its heart, the X-T5 is designed as a photography camera with video capabilities because, well, every camera has to have video capabilities these days. That's just the way it is. And it does have high quality video. But again, photography at its core, through and through. That's what the X-T5 is going to be for. I shoot video these days, but photography is my first love. So the X-T5 is going to be your primary camera for still photography and exploring the world and occasionally shooting video. Now, the X-H2 and X-H2S are obviously positioned as the flagship models in the X-Series line, simply because they have ultra high performance. But the X-T5 sits in a really unique place because it offers exceptional performance, but it has that classic X-T design, that classic retro styling that so many X-Series users love and crave for their cameras. And so from that standpoint, it's not inconceivable that an XH user might very well want an X-T5 as a second camera or as their primary still camera for just going out in the world and shooting photos. Having been one of the first people ever to shoot with the X-T1 when it was very first announced 8 years ago, I've been an X-T guy through and through, a die-hard X-T fan, and I'm absolutely in love with the form factor of these cameras. They've been an integral part of my life for the past 8 years, so they're part of my photography DNA. So I am so excited about the X-T5, and I can't wait to get my hands on one. This new 5th generation of the X-Series has opened some huge doors in terms of performance and the creative possibilities that these new cameras offer. So if you're as excited about the X-T5 as I am, or if you have a question about the camera, please leave a comment below. And if you are a Fuji shooter, you'll definitely want to check out my best-selling ebook, X-Series Unlimited. This 400-page guidebook will show you everything you need to know in order to get the best performance and have the most fun with your Fuji. It's basically the missing manual to the X-Series. Thanks so much for watching this video. Please subscribe to my channel. You can find me on social media and Patreon at Dan Bailey Photo. You can visit my website and blog as well. So happy X-T5 launch day, and I'll see you next time.